must like men if you're doing crime, because if you're doing crime, you're gonna do time. And who's in there? Men. As soon as I flush the toilet, he snuffed me, whoop me out, put the beats on me. You gotta understand what that means. That means that you're fully naked in front of another grown man and you're bending over at your waist, and then you're grabbing your buttocks and then you're opening it up. You know, this whole video is a pause. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi to all RipRight hadith disciples, YouTubers and viewers. Welcome back to a new video on RipRight HD. You already know what time it is, guys. Make sure you go out and get your rip sticks. Also, to join the community, 718-865-2873. What we do there is we text out where we're going to be, what time, the park, the location, so you could come out and you could work out with us. So join the community so you could get those notifications. Once you text join or whatever you text hi, it's going to send you a link, and then you just fill out the link, your name. It could be any name, yeah, you know, or whatever the case may be. And as long as you're able to get the notifications, you know exactly where we're going to be, because people keep saying, where are you located? What time can I come? Where are you going to be at? This is how you found out where Team RipRight is actually going to be. So let's get straight into the prison story. All right, guys. In prison, we know it's a volatile situation when you're in prison. For the most part, if you're not into anything, you can kind of stay out the way. But when you're like with a group, and Muslims are considered a group in there. Some people look at Muslims as a gang while in prison. But for the most part, if you're not in the feds, you can kind of get away with it in the state being like solo. In New York State, you can really be solo and not have to really worry about drama. So the good thing about being solo is you're on your own. So if this person has beef, you don't gotta ride out with him because you and him is from the same neighborhood or from the same city or from the same gang. So that's the good thing about being solo. The bad thing is that if you get into something and you get into it with somebody that has a clique or a gang and they are trying to gang up on you, they're gonna do it and take advantage of you because you don't have, you know, that backing. So it's like a give and take situation. But in the state, you can pretty much fly alone. But in the feds, you can't really fly alone. You have to be like a part of something, a part of a team, a part of a car, a city, wherever that place is. So usually everybody needs some kind of weapon for the most part, because you never know when, you know, this dude that you know or this dude that you met, he's from the same town, he gets into an issue and you got to go out. So, you know, at least on Rikers Island as well, you don't have to be clicked up, which is New York. But for the most part, you know, there's a lot of gang activity and there's a lot of knuckleheads on Rikers Island. So it's a lot of violence. However, you can stay out the way. But I was a person, I was Muslim, I was still hard-headed, I was still into the mix. So I used to always have like knives, razors, and things like that. So I met another dude when I got to a high classification house in C95. And, you know, we became like real good friends. He had caught a homicide. Eventually ended up getting like 25 to life. His situation was crazy. So, you know, his mother, she already knew what time it is. She was official. You know, he needed some razors. I needed some razors. He's like, yo, I'm going to tell my mom. So in my head, I'm like, your mom? But like, what's that about? He like, yo, she going to send it in. So I'm thinking like, man, my mom would never be sending no razors in. What type of mom he got? She official. You know, at that time, that's my mind state. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, send it in. So he like, yo, this is how she gonna do it. You know, she gonna send the magazines in and in the book, and then she just gonna have the one long razor. So, you know, the box cutter razors, them razors would be like real long and cut from each edge. You know how they are. And you can actually take that razor and break it down into a lot of small razors. So what she did was she opened a book. She put that razor all the way in between that book, and then she closed 2 pages on it So it's in the middle, and she kind of like glued those pages. So like when you open a book and flip through the book, that page would never open because it's two pages glued together. So if, she did it real good and real smooth. So once he got those razors in, you already know what time it was. He broke me off, gave me a piece. He, gave my other man a piece. So, we had our little razors on Rikers Island. However, the Bloods at this time, especially in our housing unit, was running around with scalpels. I wasn't really big on razors. I was more so into the ice picks and the knives because I felt a razor wasn't sufficient. Because I wanted to kind of like stop a dude. I didn't want to cut a dude and then next, me and this dude is rumbling after I cut him and then he getting blood all over me. Or, I wanted to be able to hit somebody and 𝗪𝗪𝗪, not necessarily that he died, but it's something that's going to stop him. I didn't want something that was, but unfortunately it was very difficult to walk around with a knife on a daily basis, especially with the house we were in, because how much the officers used to come in and search us. It was always something going on. So our house was one of the target houses. So I figured, now you got a result to a razor. A razor is very small. You can hide it. It's, you could basically, depending on how you do it, leave it in plain sight and nobody wouldn't really, you understand what I'm saying? So could toss it with the knife, depending on how it is. It was just a difficult situation. And everybody knows how Rikers Island, us as convicts used to carry those weapons. So I used to stay with that razor on me. We fixed it up to where you made a case for it and things like that, so that you had a nice little handle, so that when you went to cut somebody, you wouldn't be cutting yourself and things like that. So we used to keep the razor cheeked. Now they call it the prison wallet. However, some people were a lot different. Him used to go up, meaning they used to take the razor, put it in latex gloves or plastic gloves and boof it, what they call boof it, meaning stick it up their anal with a string attached to it. It was wild, the stuff that used to go on. And they used to travel with that stuff to different jails and different places, and sometimes have the string hanging out so that you would be able to pull it out. Like, that was a whole nother ball game. That was a little bit too deep for me. But as far as cheeking, putting it in between your cheeks and using that to hold it, and you would be able to walk, talk, play basketball, and him was still there. It's crazy the type of things that you had to do in there to actually stay on guard to protect yourself. It was a wild situation. So with all of that being said, sometimes have the razor on you, sometimes you have it cheeked. You also would always, in my housing unit, would want to have it cheeked because of the circumstances of the police running in and out. So, how we used to do it, if a dude come up on you, it's crazy. You should go in, squat down, him drop out, it drops out, because obviously when you squat down, this whole video is a pause. The cheek spread, it come out, you pop the top, and you cutting dude with a joint that just came out of your butt. It's wild that I'm telling y'all this now, but this is the reality, and I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. So one day, we just in the housing unit. It's a lot of drama going on, and we had a unit called the ESU. I think it was Emergency Service Unit. It was some, I don't remember what ESU had stood for, but they were these officers that were specially trained, and they weren't designated to any particular jail on Rikers Island, because Rikers Island obviously is an island surrounded by water on three sides. There's only one way onto the island, and that's on on this long bridge. So that was the only thing connecting really the island for the most part. So everything else was basically surrounded by water. Now on Rikers Island, they had C-74, C-73, the Beacon, OBCC, C-95. They had these different buildings, and each building possibly hold 1,500 to 3,000 convicts. So, we never seen people from other buildings unless something happened. You go to the box, which is another building, then you come, then they transfer you to another building. So each building on Rikers Island had their own separate everything, mess hall. So you never left that building. Everything was in that building unless you were leaving the building to go out to court. So ESU used to run through different buildings, and when they came through, they used to search us on another level, and they used to violate, and they didn't care. And anytime you were in the hallways and they were coming, they used to march. It was like a march they used to do, and it was like in sync. So you heard them coming, when it was coming. Sometimes they had dogs with them. They had a different outfit, the way they dressed. And once they were coming, we used to go face the wall. And you used to have to face the wall. And it used to be the worst of them. Like if you tried to look, you have one of them step off the line, slam your head into the wall. It was wild with ESU. You know what I'm saying? They were like, quote unquote, the toughest officers or whatever the case is. So when they came through to search you, they wrecked your cell. Sometimes it was a light search. They'll just come through, search your person. Then other times they would come through, search your person, and then trash your cell. And mind you, in prison, especially my cell, I used to keep everything folded up nice, my pants under my bed flat. So here I am, ESU runs in our house. Obviously I'm strapped, meaning I have a weapon on me. I'm strapped. In the streets we call it having a gun on you when you're strapped. In prison we use like a knife or a razor blade. We call that a gun as well. So obviously I was strapped. I had the razor on me, cheeked. So how ESU does it, they come, ooh, everybody get to your cell. So if people are in the day room, people are in their cell, whatever, everybody come through, line up on the wall, head facing the wall. They put us in a line. They give us a speech. Anybody got any weapons on them right now? Give it up. Amnesty. If you give up the weapon right then and there, it's over. They don't do nothing. They just put you in your cell, search everybody else, and then that's it. So boom, we all walk to our cells like this, and then they be wanting you. They call it penis to butt. It's crazy. They want you all the way up on the next dude, and it's just crazy. And then you walk to your cell, you break off to your cell. This person go to his cell, this person go to that cell. And I get to my cell, so I'm lying on my bed. You gotta lie on your bed and wait for them to come. So they like, boom, such and such cell, get up. So I get up. I come to the cell. The cell door. So, I'm like, damn, I got this ratchet on me, ratchet, another word that we use for weapon, gun. I'm like, dang, I might could get away with it. So I'm standing in my doorway. So the ESU officer like, take off your shirt. Don't shake it out. So I took my shirt off, gave it to him. Take off your hat. Yeah, take off your pants. Give it to him. Take off your socks. Don't turn them inside out. Give it to him. Take off your boxes. Give it to him. Understand, you don't know this man from Adam or Eve, and you standing in front of this man naked. Victim, you being victimized. Whether you look at it like that or not. There's not a lot of people that used to be like, I ain't stripping. What's up? You didn't have people like that. When I started bucking against stripping, I paid the price, because I eventually, later on in my bid, I started saying, I'm not stripping. When it was time to go to court, I'm not stripping. It was like a lot, even with the box. So anyway, You know, it's against my religion. I'm not stripping. It's just until you get upstate and you get around them big white boys and then him strip. You know what I'm saying? It's just wild. But check this out. I'm dead naked in front of a dude I don't even know from Adam or Eve. So he like, open your mouth, run your fingers through your teeth, run your fingers through your hair, your head. Raise your hands, wiggle your fingers, turn around, show me the back under your feet, show them under your feet, wiggle your toes, and now this is the moment of truth. He like bend over, you know what I'm saying, like squat. So I squat. Him good. Him don't drop out. So I try to turn back around. He like, nah, do that again. So I turn back around, drop down, and squat. Come back up. Him don't drop out. He like, yo, what's that? So I turn around like, what's what? So now he's outside the cell still. I'm in the cell. Right next to me is the toilet. So you're not about to catch me with this razor. Because I know if you catch me with this razor, I'm going to do 90 days in the box. So he like, yo, what's that? What you got on you? I'm like, yo, I ain't got nothing. So I back up. I'm even closer to the toilet. I was already right there. So it looked like he is about to come. So I, pulled it out. No freaky. Threw it in the toilet. And he like, you better not. You better not. And I'm looking him right in his eye. And he's like, yo, you better not, for the third time. And as he started coming in, no freaky, I just flushed the toilet. Got rid of the hammer. Now, as soon as I flushed the toilet, he snuffed me. Whooped me out. Put the beats on me. Like, where is that at in your, in your manual? That, because I flushed some contraband, you could beat the hell out of me. It's nowhere. So, boom, he beat me down. Then he like, dress. I got dressed, the crowd, everybody coming to my cell, all of the other ESU. I got dressed. They walked me out. I walked out. Sent me downstairs to the why me pins. They say, why me? Because the pins used to be in there all day. And people be down like, yo, why me? Why am I here? Why me? You know what I mean? Why not you? You ain't exempt. You got to go through all of that too. So I'm down there just waiting. They wrecked my cell, throw my pictures everywhere, got water all on my bed. They went berserk, and I knew they was going there. So I stood in the why me pins for about like 5-6 hours, maybe, like 7 hours. Came back finally upstairs. They wrote me up, meaning it's like a ticket. It's an infraction. It's when you being, not good. You're not being a good prisoner. They wrote me an infraction. And this could obviously get me box time. And I forgot what they did, but they lied on me, said I tried to attack. It was just like some big lie just to get away. But at that moment, I didn't go straight to the box. So I stood in C95 that whole time waiting to go to the hearing to plead my case about the whole situation. And my cell was wrecked. And it took me a couple hours just to get everything back into place. Mind you, you got pictures of, whoever it is, your family members, your wife, whatever, so you certain things that's in prison you want as a reminder and seeing your family, but then you like, nah, you don't want pictures because the way these people be violating in that situation. So that was like one of the close calls of me getting caught with some contraband. And however, the reason I got to that building in the first place was because I was in another building and I had got caught with contraband. So what do you do in this situation? Do you just not have any weapons, not have any contraband, and just try to do your bid as low as you can? And then if something does happen, you don't have a weapon, or it's just like a wild situation. But that's definitely a lesson learned. But guys, this is one of the biggest reasons why I have vowed never to go to prison. And that's because of the strip search. it was so humiliating, and I never got used to it. And it was even worse when I got upstate. It was even worse when I got upstate, because when I turned around to drop down and cough the squat, the officer said, no, bend over by the waist. All right, so you got to understand what that means. That means that you're fully naked in front of another grown man, and you're bending over at your waist. And then you're grabbing your buttocks, and then you're opening it up. I'm 37 years old. The last time my mother, who used to clean me, seen my a-hole, I can't even remember. So just imagine a man you don't know, grown as you, probably older, just met him. And it's not like y'all met like, hey, Tom, what's up? Hey, yeah, my name's Tom. I'm the CEO. I'm a CEO of this spot. Oh, yeah, I'm the... No, you don't know this dude. And then, at that same moment when I had to bend over and spread them, there's other people getting searched as well. And you hear these people making jokes like, oh, man, he has a cavity. Looking at somebody's anal hole. Do you understand like what that mean? Like, so when that happened to me, it was like, yo, this is crazy. This is a reality check. You've been stripping all of these years. Then you finally stopped stripping on Rikers Island, and you went upstate, and yeah, you abide by the rules. And then you didn't just strip and then squat and cough. No, you bent over at the waist. Is this how you want to live your life? And that was it for me. I said, I'll never go to prison again. Based on just that one little thing was just enough for me. Just that. So just imagine all the other things. Guys, man, I hope this makes sense to you. So, you must like men if you're doing crime. Because if you're doing crime, you're going to do time. And who's in there? Men. Yeah, with the same organs as you. Yeah, and then you're going to be stripped, and then you're going to be naked, and then you're going to be around men all day. Is that what you want to do for a couple dollars or some whatever you're doing, whatever kind of crime you're committing? If it's not for the permission of Allah, that this person harmed you and you was protecting yourself, and they obviously said, oh, this was justifiable homicide, but you still have to do time. Yeah, that's understandable. But you just out doing crime just to go upstate and bend over by the waist and show another man your a-hole. Not me. I'm sorry. Inshallah, may Allah protect us all from that. Stay tuned. Stay ripped. 6-pack. Big back. Big facts.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of flesh